what we are going to do few use cases. So these use cases are kind of real life, if you ask me. Now I'm giving you almost same thing as I do at my work. So it's a real life use cases we are covering. So now we are no longer baby, and this class is not meant for training. This class is meant for taking you to the next level. And many of you are doing internship. So part of that, I thought if they are doing internship, let me teach something so they can go one step above. And the reason I'm trying to explain, so without explanation, this thing, if you go in any real field, you will feel some gap of learning gap. So we are trying to fill that learning gap. So today we are going to do end-to-end application development. And if you remember last week, I covered like what you call Flask. You can use Flask, but today I'm going to use MySQL, end-to-end MySQL. So we'll write a Python program. First, we'll do MySQL installation. After MySQL installations, we are going to create database. We'll create a database, then we'll create a table, and then using Python program, we'll connect to MySQL, and then we'll read data, and then we can generate graphs. It's kind of quite interesting exercise, right? So this is one of the exercises we'll do. The second exercise will read file, and then using Pandas library. I'm not going to cover lots of things, but if I can cover this exercise, then it is itself is a real life, right? Read Panda, read file, CSV file. If you can do CSV file, you can also read. If you can read CSV file, right? You can also read MySQL also. Panda has capability to read MySQL. So here I believe I have used my Pandas. I have used Panda. Panda is pretty good. Panda allows you to read data from database, CSV file, JSON, XML, a lot of things you can do. So we'll do read CSV file, and we'll do end-to-end PDF generation. The third thing we'll do is we have multiple CSV file, and we want to do join, like a very popular join. Inner join means what data or records are common. Left outer join, what data exists in left and common record exists in right, and then right outer join. If you know this kind of thing, you shouldn't be worried about Python or data analysis. You can go confidently. Trust me, what you are learning in these 3 hours, many people don't learn in 13 hours, 13 years. Let me repeat. They do like baby thinking, Python here and there. This is like a real life. Now, your use case may vary. Like sometimes you might be reading from SQL Server, sometimes you may be reading Oracle, but the concept remains same. This project normally in a real life, 3 to 4 months. We can do in less than 1 hour. So who is expert? You or the people who are spending 3 to 4 months. You are expert. The reason you are expert because I'm bringing essence. I'm bringing essence to the party, this party which we have right now, class. I'm bringing essence. And my role is to make sure I enable you, I provide you speed so you learn. Many people struggle and lifetime do not know. You will learn it if you pay attention. Now there are caveat. I'll be very honest with the caveat. Installation vary because some of you are using Mac, and I'm hoping Mac people are always, I have a high respect because they know more than I know because I don't know Mac and I'm not a Mac guy. So those who are Mac installation, please don't hold me accountable because you need to know about it because you are using that computer, so you should know about it. The concept will work, but you need to know how to install and all. The instruction may vary, right? Creating database, and all those are concept I'm going to cover step by step. Though many of you have taken database class, should not have any problem. Python, you know very well. Any instructions about Python, I will responsible. I'll cover that. Panda, I'll cover graphs and all. I'll cover. Same thing. This one will not be a difficult part for Mac versus Windows. The only difficult part I know that Mac user may have some challenge. Some of the Windows user will have challenge also because your computer setup, maybe you do not have enough memory, maybe you do not have configurations. So please don't hold me accountable. My goal is to show you. If you can do along with me, awesome. But if you cannot do perform lab along with me, at least you know how it works. I'm recording the sessions. I'll give you the recording. I'll create the video also for this recording, and I'll put a YouTube, because such kind of beautiful things I want world knows, right? Why our IT experts knows? Entire world should know, because this is the real use case. So I'm super excited, and I'll cover some of the other analytics if time permits. Like example, k-mean algorithm. I'll cover k-mean algorithm, how k-mean works. Algorithm will cover that. The spelling. So I'll cover that as well if time permits. But if I not, at least I want to cover this three. So far so good. Give me thumbs up if you're ready for the bumpy ride. Give me thumbs up. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Please, this is one of my, if you ask me, the favorite class. The reason it is favorite class, because this is the last class before the project. And I take it granted. I take it granted that you know a lot of things, because we have taken many courses. We have gone through many classes, and this is the final class. So it's kind of real boost. We are kind of think about if you go to ride, right? This is like a real challenging and exciting ride. Okay. So for that, let's jump into our forum. So we all can jump into the forum. So first I'll go to Google Class and I'll walk you through where all the details are. So first we'll go to our forum. Everything what I have done, I have documented thoroughly, but again, I'm human. I make mistakes. So if I made mistakes, I will fix it. I will fix it. Where is my Python? This is my Python. And here you go. So class work. And today we have part 2, AIML part 2. So here you go. Okay. And PowerPoint state form, right? So if you go to our week 8, if you go to week 8, please go week 8, and you will see this form. Okay. So let's click on that, and you will jump into that location. I'm going to copy the link and put it in a chat so you can access that. Okay. Follow along. You will enjoy that. And I'll take a pause it in between. So if you have questions, we can clarify. First, make sure you visualize what we are trying to do. I always tell people context matter. Anytime when you do coding, context. Context means what I'm doing. And that what part has to be crystal clear in your mind. And I'm very lucky in that, because my background is pretty solid, because I have done computer science. So because a part of the computer science, we always have mantra, which I always tell people, programming is a very simple. If you just know mantra, I input, P process, and O output. I have seen in my career, professional career, many people do not know the basic. They just write program without understanding overall what input you will have, what process you're going to do, what output you are expecting. You are kind of like now randomly doing programming. And programming is not a random act. Programming is a logical act. And that's why many times people struggle and they frustrate, because they're doing random. Anything you do random, you will not get result. You have to be very logical and sequential in a nature some way, so you can get target result. So this exercise will set that when we are doing this lab. So let's go all the way. Let's do Control F and do MySQL. MySQL. And you most likely will come. Give me thumbs up if you're here. Just search MySQL. Okay. So before we start, I just want to make sure you understand what we are trying to do. I'm going to do along, and I can also tell my machine if doesn't support, we can't do the lab. So we are doing first time in front of you. This is all I have done myself in my home machine. So the way it works is we are going to install MySQL first. So MySQL server is really database. Sometimes we call RDBMS. RDBMS is nothing but relational database system. Now, good news about MySQL, it's free. So we all use it. Oracle and SQL Server and all those are expensive, so we can't do it. After we install, we are going to install MySQL Workbench. MySQL Workbench. MySQL Workbench is nothing but it's IDE. It's IDE where you write a query. So this one is my one. This one will connect here, right? And here you can create database, then you create table, You can run query. So normally you interact with here. This is kind of IDE, easy language. It's IDE, integrated development environment. You may like it because it's more graphical. MySQL does have command prompt. MySQL has a command prompt, but I don't like command prompt because you can't save it, you can't do it much. So MySQL Workbench is very popular. You can write in your resume also that you have worked with MySQL, you know how to install Workbench. This is very popular. Most company use because it's free. So first we're going to install it. When you install human nature, we kind of go fast. And when we do fast, we make mistake. Make sure you remember the password. Because if you do not know password, I will not know the password. So what will happen? You will not be able to connect. Because this guy, when it connects, this concept is called connection string. So connection string required 3-4 things. One, it will require database, which we will create. It will require port, which is default port, not a problem, right? It will require server, which we'll know because we are installing. It requires username and it requires password. So if you do not know one of them, then you will not be able to connect. So if you cannot connect, now my Python program is here. So my Python program will use library called Pandas and other libraries. And my program will make a call to this one. So, no, sorry, no mistake. It make a call to this one. And then it will do all the magic. This one ID, it's kind of, we call preset. Preset means you kind of create table, you create database, you create all those things preset, which is called, in an industry, we call init script. Init script means you have to create the script in order to start. So example, if you're going for Amazon, they create a preset for the products. So you install the products and then so customer can see the product. Makes sense? So remember applications, if you are doing, let's say example, Amazon, this Amazon applications may be accessing this type of thing. They write a lamp, what you call Flask. Remember last we talked about Flask? So they use Flask. The Flask is nothing but Python program. Flask is nothing but Python program, and then you use. So any application, any web application, like example, Netflix, you're searching movie, you are using web application. But web application is using web services, which we did in Python Flask. And that web service will use Python program to connect to database, get the data, and then display all the products, all the movies, all the books, all exactly same thing work in real life. Any questions so far? Right? Now, please understand there are multiple people involved in this type of project. One thing is called web development. So if I'm a web development, I'm mostly focusing on this aspect. If I'm a data analysis, I will be focusing on most this aspect. So example, which product customers are buying, how much people are buying, or what product has highest sell, or who are buying the most. That type of analysis you can do here. So this is called backend, which is you normally remain in a backend, which is called data analysis. But you also will interact with the web development because web development brings you data, which you're going to store some simple form. And then you analyze, and then you generate a report, and then you chart. Most of the work I do has both sides. So there are two type of things. One is called transaction side. Transaction means real user, and one is reporting side, which is more about data analysis or BI, business intelligence. Every company where you have millions of users, they all do this. One, front side, which is website or mobile application, which is selling. And other side, how we are selling, what we are selling, what is the problem, what improvement, that's called data science. So you are mostly in data science. Okay. Now, if I go further, I'm just going to set the stage. If I go further, we're going to create a connection string. Connection string works, then we are going to create a database. Our database name will be company. Everything is well tested. Company, and we'll create a table employee. In employee ID, employee name, salary. But if I can create employee, if I give you product table, you can do that, right? Or if I can say primary key, foreign key, and I create another table, you can do that because once you know the base, then you can do product. Product has product descriptions. Product has other, what do you call, discounts or features we can do. And now you can search product, or you can have movie, you can have books, same concept. This employee, because it's easy, that's why I'm using it. Again, you all know because you have taken Oracle class. If you have not taken, we will be starting database class soon, so you can take it again. But primary key means it is only unique. All employee will have only one ID, just like a product ID, just like a movie ID. And then employee will have name, salary, department, like that. Again, you can add more column, but this is a demo perspective. Good. Now, if you go further, we are adding some record. So please understand, we create a table employee. Now we are inserting record, and one by one we are inserting record. We are saying, hey, department has employees. So we have how many department we have? We have 3 departments. Now, because I was running out of time, my house, when I'm doing this kind of lab at Sunday, I have very limited window. In that 7 to 8 hours window, I have to do a lot of activities. I had only 12 records, but you can add 200 records. You can have 2 million records, not a problem. So as you do projects, if you are planning to do project with a database, try to add more records. Try not to limit yourself what I did, because if you do that, you are not really learning. So make sure you add more data, more tables, more complexity as you go further. As you go further, how to execute that? So we are going to use SQL, so MySQL bench, and then we highlight it, and then we click on that, and we run the query. So this one will run the query. It will create database. It will create the table. So when you create database, you need to use database, and then you create table, you insert record. Everything should work. When it works, you get a success, success, success. Any questions so far? Okay, I'm hoping you are listening, and if you are understanding, give me thumbs up. Please don't be inactive, don't do multitasking. This is hard, very hard, I'll tell you, because as I said before, in real life, it takes 3 to 4 months. We are going to do less than 45 minutes. So it is hard, it is important, so don't do multitasking. I know in the morning, if you drink coffee or tea, that's completely fine, but please do pay attention. Moving along, as we go further, we are going to install some packages because Python will require these packages in order to connect and do reports and all kind of things. Now you know how to install pip. So technically speaking, we are going to use our Spider. The reason we are using Spider because Spider comes with lots of goodies. Some of the things will be by default there, but good news, you can always install through pip. People will ask in interview, what is pip? Pip stands for Python Installer Package. It is one of the best tool to install any library. It makes a call to internet and it download all library for you. And it's free, so people like it. Now, moving along. This is a real program. This is our Python program. So just like normal program, we create a Python program. We are saying, hey, I'm going to import. Import is nothing but bring in a memory. So you're bringing in a memory. And now you're saying, hey, I want to connect. Please pay attention. I want to connect to MySQL. So you can say localhost means my machine. If you have machine, separate machine, then you need to ask IP address of that machine. Because if you are in different machine, let's say your laptop is different than this, then you need to ask IP address of that machine. In my case, everything is in one machine, so I use localhost. But in case in real life, I guarantee you will have a separate machine, which we call three-tier architecture. Three-tier architecture means you have web server, then you have app server, and then you have database server. In interview, if somebody asks, you always say we have three-tier architecture. Each servers are separate, and you mostly customer use through cloud. So they use through cloud. They go through cloud. They use this, and then it goes like that. So when you connect other machine, instead of localhost, you should write that machine information, host name or domain name. Next, you provide the username, you provide the password, you provide the company name. Port is default, so I don't have to provide. In case if I have changed the port, I should provide. So this is a connection. Please pay attention. This is the connection. So we develop the connection. Now we are going to use these connections to run the query. So if you go down, the second step is query data from EMP table, because this is the query. Select means read. I want to employee ID, employee name, and salary. I want to read 3 columns. I need to read 3 columns from 4 columns, my mistake. Employee ID, employee name, salary, and department, 4 columns from EMP table. So this is your table. These are your columns. You can change the column of your choice. Now you have query. You're going to use query, and you have connections, which you're going to use these connections. So what will happen? This PD stands for Panda. Panda will run function called read SQL. Query is there, connection is there, connection to establish, it runs the SQL which you just created, and it's going to get data. In our case, data will come in a DBEF, which is nothing but data frame. In easy language, employee data with how many columns? 4 columns. Because in your query, you have employee ID, you have employee name, you have salary, and you have department. So you will get all the details, and you will have whole things in data frame. Any questions so far? So far, so good. Now, moving along. As we go further, we have generate chart. So this function is say, hey, if you give me a data frame, I'll generate the chart. And in the generator chart, I'm using first plot figure 10:6. So this is the size. Basically, you're saying, hey, I want to draw the graph like this. So you're specifying figure size. Then you're saying DF. DF stands for data frame. Group by. So just like in database, you do group. We are saying department by group by. So here I have department, let's say IT, department is IT, department is sales, department HR. And you can say salary mean. I want mean salary. So basically I can draw a nice graph about mean salary. Mean stands for average. So you can have average salary. So for that you get it and you are saying bar. Bar means bar chart. You get the department salary. You are now saying, hey, color should be sky blue. Means you can change the color if you want. You are having a title, which is title will go here. Then you are saying X label, Y label, and then you are specify here. So you are saying take the department salary which you receive here and plot as a bar graph, and you will have bar graph. And as you go further, we are not done yet. If I want to generate report, we are generating a report with PDF file. We are saying the file name will be employee report RDF. So this file will be created. We are saying, hey, create a canvas. Let's like everything we are going to do here. So this is the PDF file. We are going to create a canvas. We are changing the font. We are changing heading. So it's a employee department report. It will write that. Then it specify what you call font, Y position. So here the position is 0, 0. 0, 0 means X is 0, Y is 0, 0. So first is X always. So if you always going to give a position from here. Most graphs start from here. That's confusing. Here it starts from here. So you provide the position. So you can see here 100. What is 100 means? 100 means X. The first 100 is X. And the Y is the position from height. So basically 100 from here, Y from here, and you're going to write this. And then you're going to write this. And you can also provide the details. So if you go here, it is going to provide the chart also. So your chart will be added. The chart you created in a previous function will be added here. Now you save the file. You save the file and file will be saved. Now that file we normally email. And entire things is driver through main program. So first you get a connection, then you get the employee, then you generate the chart, then you generate the PDF, and it close the entire thing is question, concern, start. Good. So let's begin and start. Yes, Alma, any question?
No, I was trying to hit the thumbs up. Sorry.
So first thing, I'm hoping all of you are here in a forum. And now let's do one by one. First thing, we're going to click here and download MySQL and download Workbench. It may take a couple of minutes. So just click it and start downloading. So when you click it, please follow along so you don't make mistake. I have given instruction here in case if you want to follow that as well. So first you click installer. So when you click installer, you are here. Now your goal is here. Now many of you might have Mac. You may want to change it. I hope you understand that. I'm not a Mac guy, so I may not be able to help you further. But this is, I know MySQL will work. MySQL will work with the Mac also. So you may want to find that. But here, let's say I'm going to use, they are almost same, right? There's nothing special. This is the web community and this is the installer. So I'll go with the installer, right? Looks same to me. A MySQL installer community. So just click on download and start down. Now, when you come here, you just click here. No thanks, just download. No thanks, just download. And you can go further and it will start downloading. It take a minute or two and you can see the circle says now download. You couple of minutes, it will download. I'm hoping everyone is seeing the download part. Okay, so download is completed. We are using community version, it's a free, but if you are getting production version, then there is a charge for that. But community is free, and for our needs, it's perfectly fine. So let's go to download and let's install. It does take time, so don't cry. It's going to take time, significant time. So here we have downloaded that. We're going to install. The only thing you need to remember is the username and password. However, there are certain setup I'm going to show you so you can follow along. Double click on it. Some of your machine will be faster than mine, so you might see a little fast, but it takes time. When you are in real life, you may be installing the SQL Server, so please be comfortable, because anytime you start a new job, you will require to install many software. MySQL is very popular, so I can give you guarantee you will find lots of articles about Mac. So it say, hey, do you want to allow? I'll say yes, I'm allowing. Then it starts. Please understand, if you have antivirus software and it might block I think the port, MySQL port, make sure you allow that. Because if you have antivirus software, sometime it may prompt you like this. You just say yes, and it allows. Because this way you can successfully install. So right now it's installing. It does take a few minutes. It will go through the journey. So we are only installing server only. So that may give us better benefit. We don't want to install all. So we're going to say server installation and just say next and follow along. And you click on that. If there is a Visual C++ is not available, it will start downloading for you, which is kind of cool. But there are a lot of errors you may encounter, depends on your professional version of Windows. Many of you buy like different brand. You may see a lot of errors because your brand may not have professional version. In that case, you may need to download so many dependent library, which is the pain. So let's see how it goes through. So execute, I select it here. So make sure you click on it. So when you click on it, you select it here and then now click on execute. And let's hope for best. It's going very well so far. It's installation checking. See, it's prompting, hey, you don't have Visual Studio? I'll say, yes, I agree. Let it go. So installation is going further. And that installation happened because Visual C++ was not there. So now I like it. They install it, so I close it. And now I do say check mark is done. So now I can go to next. I hope you guys are also following. Give me thumbs up if you are with me so far. Good news, this software will never die, means you can use it forever. It is one-time installation and lifetime you can use it, which is kind of cool. Now do next and execute. And hope for best. It's going to take a few minutes to install. MySQL, actually, it's very simple and powerful, but let's go through that. Now the next, I'm just doing next. So the only thing, remember, as you go further, it will be prompting you password. So here, I want you to remember the port. This port normally blocked by your computer because you have antivirus software. So please understand, this is a default port, do not change. And if you change it, then your program needs to your program require this port. Normally people don't change it, right? So everything will be like that. And do next. And everything looks good. Now it's going to ask me password, right? So we'll say root and we'll say root. Please try to give a lowercase root. Root. In case if you do not know, make sure R-O-O-T, root. Both lowercase. Can I change it? Yes, but later on you can change. But now, right, keep it so our program will require exactly same. If you change this thing, then your program requires change. Now do next and next. It says that it's going to start a system startup. So it will start a service called MySQL 8.0. It means when you restart your machine, this service will be visible. So if you search on your Windows service, this service will be visible. I'll show you in case if you want to know. Sometimes you can stop and start also. And next, and next, and hope for best. Sometimes you get error. In that case, you go back and again next. Sometimes you get error, you do back and next. The only reason you get error because your internet is not proper. It may go back and forth. So in that case, don't cry, don't cancel. You just go back and try again. It is pretty smart. It knows that certain thing is installed already, so it will try to install which is pending, and then it will work. So today is my lucky day, and I'm able to install successfully MySQL. Any question, concerns, doubt? Right. I hope all of you are doing great. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And finish. And next. And we are done. Finish. So that is one milestone is accomplished. I would like to say congratulations. It took me a long time to install MySQL earlier because earlier version of MySQL has a lot of error. So you have to install. Right now you saw the Visual C++, it automatically installed. We have to install manually. There was a lot of pain and it was painful. But now they made it very nice, easy, easy, easy. Okay. Root. Sujita, I hope you saw that root and root. Both root. Right? You're gonna,
Okay, so thank you.
yeah, you're gonna write same thing, root. So that part is pretty good. Now let's go to our form. So we are just done with this part. Okay. Now we are going to do part 2. So part 1 is done. Part 2 is workbench. Process is almost same. So I'm hoping you all have installed. See, I'm not going fast. I want to make sure I go reasonable speeds. Otherwise, we'll not be able to complete all labs. And I'm recording the session. So I'll give you the recording. Now we're going to click on here. Yes, Dana?
I'm just wondering, I did, as you indicated, I understand that you don't know Mac, but I did find a, ARM64. So 2 questions. Is it okay that I'm using MySQL 9.0 instead of 8?
That's fine. Yeah, perfectly
And
fine.
then the second question is, my MySQL for the server, it did not ask me for the root username and password. Is that okay, or should I be concerned?
It should have asked. It should have asked because you cannot connect to the server without username and password. So you might have installed something different
Okay, I'll
because
keep researching then.
you should have, because these are servers, just like bank locker. Bank locker you cannot open without key, right? So ideally it should ask, unless there is a default setup. And if it is there, you may want to see what is the default username and password. I believe it's a root. I believe it's a root, but see if you can find another option. But I would keep watching here. Then don't miss me here because you
Okay.
can do that part a little later.
Okay,
Yeah, because if you understand the concept, it will be easier. So now let's do workbench. So we're going to click on workbench. Same apply. We are going to install this one because there is only one options, which is kind of nice. So let's download. It take a minute or two. And same thing, you click here, no thanks, just download. It takes a minute because this is like smaller software compared to the server. So now you download it. As you can see, download is complete. So I'll go to download folder. See if you have this workbench. Give me thumbs up. Workbench is nothing but IDE. Okay. Normally we use 2, so that's why I'm doing that. So let's double click and install. So double click on workbench and follow along. Here we're going to establish connections. So I'll show you. This process takes times, so that's why I want everyone to pay attention, because if you make one small mistakes, it's not going to work. And that's why in a real life it takes 3 to 4 months, but if for my world it takes 30 minutes because I do systematical. Right? Next, and next. Just install. It will be done faster because it looks for MySQL, which we have installed. Just allow yes. It look for MySQL, which we already have installed. So this guy will know that the MySQL is installed. If it is not installed, it's going to cry. So that's why I always install MySQL first, then install Workbench. You might have seen like a books, right? Sometimes books that call dedicated, book is dedicated to this and that person. Same thing. This lab actually I designed because of some of you were asking, hey, how MySQL works. So I thought maybe having a lab would be wonderful. That's why this was not a plan activity. This is additional activity. So that's why it's taking a little extra time, but I'm hoping it's a worth investment of 1 extra hour because you will love it, right? And finish. So this is done and you will see pop-up. You will see pop-up like this. 1, 2, 3. If you don't get it, don't cry, we'll find out. But normally it should pop up. Hey, look at that. Did you see that? Say yes. Say yes. Yes. And what happened is it automatically detect that there is a MySQL is installed. It has a username root and it has a password. So I'm going to double click here. If I double click here, what will happen? I'll be connecting to that. So if I click here, it's asking password. And you know that password. So here is required password. So I'll say ROOT root and I'll save it. So it doesn't ask me again. Make sense? Right? ROOT root. And okay, and if you're connected, I'll say congratulations, you just completed step 2. Was it hard? Pretty cool. You're in. Awesome, right? So first thing first, a little bit introduction. Please pay attention. You're gonna click on schema first. So please click on schema. So if you click on schema, it will change this view. So click on schema and you can see right now there is only system database. So this database is used by MySQL. We are going to create our own database. We're going to create our table. We're going to insert records and it all visible. Many times people don't click on schema and say, hey, it's not working. It does work. You have not clicked on schema, right? Anytime you write it, you highlight and you run by clicking this symbol. This allows you to run it. You can also save your script, which I like the most. You can whatever you do, you can save your script by going to file and you can save it. So now I'm hoping all of you are here. Let's go to forum. And now we just completed this connection. Now you are going to do this, only copy this portion. Control C. Make sure you copy step by step, don't copy too much. Copy this. So here I copy it, I come here, and now here, first you're going to run this thing. Check it out. I highlight it and run. Each line ends with semicolon. Each line ends with semicolon means that command ends. So you can click here and run, create database, then you run it, and database is used. So you can see here, database is now used. Use in the men's of active. So please understand, first command create, second command make it default. But you are not able to see here because you have to click on refresh. So if you click on refresh, you will see, hey, I see that. Do you guys agree? Right? There are small things people don't see, and that's why they get panic attack. Hey, it's not working. It does work, right? So first is create a database, second use the database, and now we're going to create table. So we're going to click here, and you can see right now the table doesn't have table, but if I highlight that and I have to run, please understand highlighting means you're selecting that command and only running that command. Try not to run this command again because you can run this command once because you're creating. So now run it, and now table is created. And if you're not seeing that, just refresh and table will be created and expand that. Pretty cool. And you can expand. Anytime you're not able to see, just click on refresh and you can see that. Beautiful. Good. Life is good so far. Yes, Anna.
I'm sorry, I closed too many windows. Where did you copy this code from?
From forum. From forum. And
Oh,
then
from Schema.
in schema. I copy and paste here, run one by one, run by one. First I ran this, highlight and run, highlight and run, right? Highlight and run, highlight and run. Make sure you run one by one. Try not to run all at once because if there is an error, I want to know where I have error. So my habit is run one by one. So it's kind of nice. Otherwise, it will take too much time. Remember, random thing is not right. Can I count everyone has table created? Database and table, company table. Remember, we are in schema. Okay, don't forget that. Schema is there, table is there, and column is there.
Which icon did you use to run?
This one, first one. Make sure you highlight it and run it. Okay, without highlight, if you run, it will run everything, which we don't want. We want to run selected command. Okay. Good. So far, are you guys with me? Any concerns, comment? Good. Thank you, Chair. Okay. Now we are going for record, inserting records. So this is what we have. So we can copy all records. Control C. You might have noticed that I do dash dash. That's nothing but comment. Dash dash is nothing but comment. So if you do dash dash, it's a comment. You don't need to copy the comment. So I'm going to copy all those things, and I'm going to put here after this command. And this time, I'm going to highlight all 12 records. Whatever record I have, right? 9 record, I believe. So I highlight all. You can see on the screen, and you can see how nicely I highlighted. And I'm going to click on this command and then run. So it will insert all records. Please try not to run again because it won't work because there is a primary key. So that's why error, if you make one error, then challenge starts. Okay. So right now, I inserted record, all records are inserted. Please understand, I only highlighted insert command. If I try to run this command again, it won't work because table, if it exists, it won't allow you. I cannot run this command also because it's a primary key. This employee ID is a primary key, so it has to be unique, right? Now, just for cursory check, if you want to know, select star. Star means all column from EMP and run it and see if you have 9 records and run that. And in my case, yes, it is. So you can select space star EMP star, and you can see this is what you have. Beautiful, just beautiful. Yes or no? Give me thumbs up if you are with me so far. It means your pre-setup is done. Every QA students, every database students who know about it, most of the time people say, I don't know, and that's a pre-setup. Without pre-setup, you can't do anything technically. So if you go to Amazon, this pre-setup happens early morning, 1 a.m. So that's why you can search product. In Google also, the pre-setup happens. Amazon, Netflix, you can come any company, even Bank of America, many company, like example, Expedia or Hotwire, they do pre-setup, means rooms, like hotels. This is the way they insert this script. This script which you have, it's sometimes called data loader, sometimes people call init script, sometimes we call pre-setup. This is, and many people work for lifetime just doing this data load. Just data load, right? Now what we are doing here, we are going to use Python and we'll try to analyze. That's the data analysis. So this is the data loader part. Now you're going to do data analysis. But if you know it, you're now adding value because you know installation part, you know now configuration part, you're installing a lot of things you know. And when you know end to end, that's the value. That's the value, right? So now everything looks good to me. At this moment, let's start a spider. So start a spider. Remember Spider we installed last week? Please don't ask me what is a Spider, how it works. Spider we installed last week. So if you have not done that, Spider is coming from Anaconda, all instructions in the forum. It takes time to install, but right now we are using Spider. So Spider we installed last week. All instructions are there. In case if you're not installed, you can just search about install Anaconda and you can find the Spider. You can install it. It's pretty easy. It's free. So go ahead and install Anaconda. So those who have not installed and those who are missing class, those who first time attend, you may not have. Now, what you can do, if you want to do ideally, might work. I can't give you guarantee because you need to install so many library, but Spider comes with lots of library. So I started Spider. Did I start? What I started? Yeah. So Spider come with preload library. So Spider will come here. It takes a couple of minutes to load in memory. I'll give it time. If you are going for data analysis world, then Spider would be very helpful. If you're going for QA or other kind of world, ideally will be good enough. But Spider is one of the most popular. It gives you lots of goodies, lots of goodies. So right now, I just started Spider. I will be creating a new script. So I'll click on that and creating a new script so we can start from here. Give me thumbs up if you are in Spider so we can go started. Please understand this one will allow me to create a new script. See, learning should be fun, but learning should require a little time, little effort, little practice. What I'm showing you, I know it's a lot easier when I show you, but if I were you, I would create a new database, create a new table, add some spice on it, and spend time. If you can do it, now you know lifetime. So just if you do whatever I did, then it's not enough. You do need to do practice. It takes maybe 1 hour or 2 hours to practice. And that's why I always tell people, first learn Hello World and then understand how Hello World works. And then you're ready, right? So here we have this thing, say available, perfect, cancel. Now we are going back to our forum. So in our forum, we install this thing, we run that, and we have everything. First thing, we are going to install this library. This library allows Python to connect to MySQL, Pandas, Metalib, and reporting. So I'm going to copy this. First, I'm going to copy this thing. And first thing, I'm going to paste it here. And I highlight it. And I'm going to run it. So I'm going to run this. It takes a couple of minutes. Let's run. It takes a couple of minutes. Not here. It doesn't like that. So I have to go to CMD. Let's do CMD. My mistake. Let's go to CMD. CMD. Let's go to CMD. CMD stands for command prompt. Go to there and open your small window and paste it here. Anytime we install, we use pip install. We are installing this packages. So we are installing this is for report PDF file. This one is for graph, right? This is for graph. This is for data. So this is anytime you do data activity, Panda is like a brilliant library. I love it. And this one will establish Python to talk to MySQL. So that's the MySQL connector. Normally they call connector. Now it's time for press enter and let it go. So if you don't have any library, it will install for you. Good, good, good. Going very well. And few minutes, you're done.
I can't remember how to, I think I had my terminal running through my Flask. How can I?
Control C. Stop it. Control C. If you want to stop it, just say Control C.
Yeah, it's not letting me do anything right now.
You can close that window and start a new terminal. Control C always works. So
Yeah, it was not responding, stuck. So I stopped terminal and I'll restart and see if I can get a better.
Yeah, you will. You will. If you stop your terminal, it will stop the service. You can see how many libraries it is installing. So it takes a little time because the way people works is it kind of go through dependency tree and get all the things and then download all the libraries. So, by the way, while we are waiting, next week we'll not have a class. So I want you all enjoy your Thanksgiving with your friends and family members. Please don't call me Saturday. Do we have a class? Answer is no, we will not have a class. So please enjoy, right? and let me enjoy too, right? Because this is hardly I find time. Saturday is very busy because I teach 2 classes, but we'll not have class next week. So I was able to install all without any problem. Give me thumbs up if you're good with me so far. Good, very good. Seems like we're cruising so far. Today's lucky day. We are not getting error. Normally I get lots of error, by the way. This is like
I got error here in my CMD terminal. They said pipe doesn't work.
It means you did not have installed properly, because it means you should have this error you should have for last couple of classes, right?
Yeah, it was working before. I downloaded it, but I don't know today why it doesn't work.
Try again one more time, CMD one more time.
Sure.
Because if it is say PEEP is not recognized command, the only reason is because it's not finding it. Because this, when we did Flask, right, we installed Flask. So you should have error last week also. But if your last week it worked, then it should work.
Yeah, it was work, but today I don't know why it doesn't work.
No,
Tushar, while installing Python, we need to check path. Then only PEEP will work.
Correct. No, that was the all discussions we covered in first week itself. That check. But after that, Murthy, we did like 7 or 9 library installation. So so last 4 or 5 class we installed many library. We installed Report Lab, we installed Plus. So it means it worked last, so it should work now, unless some change happened.
Okay.
So first week we were very clear about check. Add in install path. So we don't want to go back now. So Mohammed, the only thing I would suggest, this is very easy way to do. When you have to reinstall Python, please understand, reinstall. I'm talking to you, Mohammed. When you reinstall, please understand, when you reinstall, there is an option called modify. You select modify, and you're reinstalling Python, modify. And when you modify, one screen there will be checkbox will be there. And that checkmark say PEEP install in a path. You need to make that check. So the way you do is you make sure your series, 3 series. Normally we install 3.10 or 3.11 or 3.12. The 3.10 onwards, I believe PEEP is there. So when you take series and you double click, it will detect that you have Python. So you have to go to modify, and in modify, you slowly go. There will be a lot of checks are available. They call customizations or something. In customizations or somewhere, you will see checkmark. The checkmark will say PEEP install in a path. If you do it, after you complete the installations, you start one more CMD. Make sure you start a brand new CMD. It will work. It takes a minute to do all those activities. So if you have Python installed, you may be able to do in a minute, because after break, we will do another lab, and that also you will have problem. So you may want to do this part, and you can solve that issue.
Sure, thank you, sir.
Now, let's go back to our business here. Now we are in a spider. Now, last thing, we're going to copy entire program. Please understand, we're going to copy entire program up to this. Control C, up to main, okay? Entire program. So if you see, the last line should be main, right? This is the last line, main. So what happens, I'm going to walk you through again. Please try not to run. Please understand. So what happens, this main program will call this function. So there is a function here. This main program call these functions. So this one is here. This one will establish connections. This one will get the query run and get the data frame with employee. This one will generate the chart. Then this one will generate the PDF. This one will close their connection with the database. Now, each one, if you scroll down, each one has a very well documented comment. So you can see first one, most of you need to remember that we are assuming that your root password is this. We're assuming your database. So if you create a new database, you need to change this. Makes sense? Local host because you are running locally. If you're running remotely, then you have to change this. This you cannot run because this is the function, right? If you come here, this is the query. So like example, if you are creating new database, let's say library, and you have table called book, then you have to change this thing to book. And of course, the column will change. Make sense? And you can change this name to book, right? But data, everything else will remain same. Everything else will remain same. Now, if you come here, this is group by. So this is group by because your department table, anything is repeating, you want to summarize. So like example, I want to know author, how many books per author? So then I can group by author. If I want to know how many people live in city, then I can group by city. These are column, please understand, these are column from the table EMP. So if you change this table name and column name, you do need to change this. Once you create it, your data frame, after that, all those things are independent. So this line does change according to your need. Next, it's completely independent. It has nothing to do with your database. So this is just a PDF file. So this will generate PDF file. And this file will be generated local. Now, if you want to give a path, C column like this data, you can give a path also like that. So if you want to give, then file will be generated there. So example, I'm going to put it here, just like example. Let's change it. So we can get here C column. Please do that. So you can do C column, right? Backward slash data, backward slash EMP. So you can give a path. You can give a path. Please change that. C column, data. So this will mean say go to this folder and then do this thing. So you're giving a path. Make sure you have a 2/ because Python ignore the escape character, which is slash. Now everything looks good to me. So at this moment, what we need to do, let's remove the people command which we added. Oh no, we don't have, right? Perfect. At this moment, highlight entire thing. And if you're lucky, it generates the PDF file. So run it, highlight and run. So that's a selection box, run from this one. You can see on the screen, the last play button. Right, click on that and hope for best. Oops, MySQL module is not found. What should I do?
We didn't import the right. I got the problem.
Did I not import, or I thought
No, we didn't.
I have to import? No, I have to pip install. No module MySQL. So I need to go here and I'll say pip install MySQL. Pip install MySQL. So when you say no module not found, most likely it should be error here somewhere. Press enter. See if that helps. So yeah, that helps. It's downloading. So that part helps. Please understand, pip install, because the error tells me this is not found. So I'm installing it, right? Now, one more time. Remember, we have to highlight everything. Start from here. And like start here. And now click on play button and see hope for best. Did it still say? No. One second. Dana, here is the path. So you can see that. Make sure you see.
Step 4.
Right. See, guys, whenever you are having this thing, right, module, even though I install, it's not finding. So there are two things, right? Whatever I'm doing here, it's not working, right? So let me see if I can run in here, if that works. Otherwise, I have to close Spider. When I close Spider, it will read the new environment, right? So let me see if I can short circuit, if I can, just to make sure if this one works here. I'm just pasting here, and so see if that helps. If that helps, then I will solve the problem. Otherwise, I have to close the browser and start again. So let's see here. Yeah, so it worked here, right? So do you see that what I'm doing? Are you guys understanding? So it looks like Spider has its own Python, right? So what will happen? I will have another error. Why? Because this is only solving MySQL error. So basically, if you remember, we have done pip here. You guys remember? I will run pip again one more time. This pip command, I'll put it in chat. Are you guys understanding what I'm trying to say? This pip command I need to run here one more time because looks like Spider has its own Python and it's not finding. So I'm going to keep copy here and run this command. Let it run because this way Spider will know this library. Makes sense on? There's some reason Spider is not knowing. Many times what happens when you add the library in command prompt, you close the Spider and reopen it. So it takes the environment. Sometimes you need to do this thing because when you install, Spider may not know that you installed the library. So it's done. Now let's see here. I install it and now let's see if I'm lucky today, right? So far we're going very well. I think today is a lucky day. And now click on play button and it's going very well. Awesome! It's done. It's done. Look at that. Right? And if it is done, I'm going to go to data folder and see my report file. I should have graph and all. And if yours, you can give me thumbs up that you're also done and double click on that. And guys, this is awesome. I created a simple graph. That's all I did. Nothing special. Look at that. So data is there. I kind of run data. I create a graph and everything is there. How many of you are able to do? Awesome. So let's set the stage first. Make sure you understand what we are trying to do. So this will give you benefits you can use for your real life. This one is very popular exercise. Let me repeat. This is very, very popular and kind of easy exercise. Popular and easy. Popular in the sense of you will be using almost every day. And easy means it's not that complex, right? So what this exercise? So let's say if you're working in a data analysis field, your customer data, your order data, and you have product data. And sometimes you may have a need that you want to find out who placed order, right? You want to find out. And then you want to say who purchased what. So such kind of merging where you do left join, outer join, inner join. This is inner join. So you can do inner join or you can do left join, means you take all item from here, matching item from here. Or you can do right join where you can take item from here and matching item here. This is very popular thing. You will be doing this for often. And Panda is wonderful. So this exercise is very easy. For this exercise, we have to create two files. File 1, file 2. Now, please understand, I'm teaching a concept. Now, many of you have a problem with the computer and all. To be honest with you, that is beyond my capacity. So please, please don't angry on me any shape or form because this is not I'm not the one who fixed the computer. I'm here to teach the lab, right? That part is very different. This exercise is quite easy. 99.99% will work because we are only using library Panda, which I think is working for you. This exercise most likely also work on your IDLE. We'll try so that way you can learn how it works. So we'll create two files. In this file, we'll create a records. Some records will be matching record and some record will be different record. And we'll try to do inner join, we'll try to do left outer join, we'll try to do right outer join, and that's pretty much this exercise is. Good. Any question before I start explaining the steps? Good. So let's go to our forum. Go to forum. And in this forum, if you go down after this PDF file, if you can go down, you will see this thing. Now, what we are going to do, first understand the concept. Because if you understand concept, you will not have any problem. So first is the file 1. So you're going to create file 1. You will create a file 1. You will give name file1.csv. We have 3 columns, ID, name, and age. And then we'll create a second file in the same location. Location is C drive data. And there you can see here there are file number 2 is matching and number 3 is matching. So we have 2 record matching. So if I do this way, I have 2 record matching, 2 and 3, which is existing both file. While other, like example, 1 is only exist here, 4 is only exist here, and 5 only exist here. So this, when I do inner join, I'll see 2 record. When I do inner join, I'll see 2 record because they are existing both file. When I do left outer join, I'll see this many record, which is called 4 record I'll see. And when I do right outer join, I will see 3 records. Makes sense? So right outer join will take everything from right and matching record from left. While left outer join, it will bring everything from left and matching from right. And inner join will bring all the data which is existing both sides. So far, so good. Give me thumbs up. So I want to make sure this is the most important concept. If you are not understanding left, right, outer join, then this exercise is not useful. It's very important that you visualize what you're trying to do. Now you may say, when I should use left, when I should use right. That's a very good question. It depends on your need. So example, if you are interested in, hey, customer, please understand, if you have a need, if a customer makes order, and this is the order table, then it's important that you do left outer join. But if your question like order from order, if I want to find customer, then you will do right outer join. So depend on your need, and that creativity, that thinking process will come based on the problem or use case. So you don't have to memorize it. You just need to ask what I know and what I would like to know, right? What I know, what I would like to know. And that's why left and right outer joins are given, because sometimes you know right information and you will go to left. Sometimes you know information left and you want to go to right. And most of the time you want to find out inner join. So we'll do that. Now if you run, see this thing, this program step by step, we are loading the file. So we are giving a file name and we read two files. And we have two data frames and we return two data frames. First will be first data frame, second will be second data frame. So we'll have file one, file two. Now when we come here, we are saying, hey, let's do join, and we are doing merging. So you can see here, when we do join, this is left join, because when we do merge, we are saying, hey, this is the file one, this is file two, and you are doing left join. And on ID, this is the column which is matching into file. So primary key, foreign key. So this column is your primary key, foreign key. So here you can see here we are doing left. How do I know left? Because we have specified. So when you do left, this file will be taking priority, and then it will use all record from this and matching record from right. So left. And same concept, if I do right outer join, you can see this one will take priority because this is one first, and you're writing. This is very important because using these columns, they're matching two files. And inner join will be where you have data which is matching in both. Now, this is the main program where we specify the file path. File path can be different. If you have different file, this file we are passing load and then join will be performed. This join, when we perform, we are printing the join result. So if you see here, when we perform this thing left join, we have right join and the inner join, and we are performing that. So you will see the result step by step. Okay. So in order for us to do this exercise, the first thing we need to create two files. So let's create a two file. So let's create a two file. So first I will copy this part. Please understand, you copy this. Please see on the screen, you copy this part, only this data, copy that. So when you copy, Control C, and now search on your Notepad. Now again, Mac user can do the similar search in their editor, whichever editor works for them. Notepad, I'm using Notepad. So in Notepad, I'm going to paste this data. Remove the empty space. Remove the empty space. You don't need empty space like that. Please understand, use Notepad and you remove the empty space. Now this is your data. Now in this data, you're going to do file save as. File save as. Please understand, file save as. There is one thing I want you to be very careful. File save as. And when you do save as, it's very important you select C drive, data. And when you are giving here, make sure you select all. See on the screen. When you do file save as, remember save as file, don't go fast, make sure you clear C drive. You are in C drive data, we have data folder, and always select from drop down box all files. And then I will give name double quotation file1.csv. The reason I give double quotation, so I make sure file extension remains CSV. The folder I select data, it means it should be stored in a data folder. And then this one should not give me extension txt. So it's very important. C drive, data folder, and when you give a file name, give it double quotations. So you are forcing file name must be CSV. The extension must be CSV. Now when you save it, file is saved. And you can see nicely the extension is CS. Okay. Any questions so far with the file one? Any questions, concerns? Or give me thumbs up. Yes, I did it. So we can move forward. Good. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is going to be a lot simpler exercise and this is very powerful. If you ask me, you will be using more often because it's a data analysis activity, right? Now, what I'm going to do, file new, I'm going to do file new, and I'm going to copy this record, Control C, and I'm going to put it here like that. Remove the empty line. Don't forget to remove empty line, right? You might have seen that both file has an ID column is there. That's why we will merge based on ID column. ID is the primary key, foreign key. So here we remove the empty. Now we're going to save as. So file, save as, file, save as, file, save as. Same concept, file, save as. Go to data. Make sure you select all. Make sure you select all here. And then double quotation, file2, file2.csv, file2.csv. So you can see here the file 1, you have copied here file 1, and same thing you copy file 2. It is very important that file 2 has extension CSV, otherwise it won't work. CSV stands for comma separated value because each column value are separated by comma. So we have 2. Good. Now save it. The benefit of this file is a data file. So somebody say, but if I have 20 files, how can I do merge? Very simple. You do this way. You merge these 2 files, and then you create a new data frame, and then merge this thing, a new data frame, like that. You can do that. So your choice to merge. So whatever output of this merge is here, that you do here, and then just so this way you can cyclically merge that. Okay. Now everything looks good to me. Now what you're going to do here? Copy this thing. Control C, copy this, Control C, and go to your Spider. Let me open my Spider because I tested all in Spider. So I'm going to test a Spider. 99% it should work for you because this lab only use Panda. This lab only use Panda, so should not be that complex. Make sure you, in your resume, when you write a resume, you should have a tool called Spider. Make sure, or Anaconda, Spider, IPython. These are sellable tools. If you just write ideally, it's not going to be sellable. But Spider is very well known in a data analysis community, so it will be very fast. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create a new file. So we'll not disturb the existing one. So let's create a new file. So new file, and we paste the whole program. Now, this program itself is pretty simple. So first paste the program and let's read one more time so we understand. So what we are saying here, this will call main program. Main program will read file 1, file 2, and then it will pass to load data. It will create a data frame. So now you have 2 data frame. Then you will pass the data frame to perform join. So when I go to this, then your data frame coming, you're using this data, PD stands for Panda, you're merging data frame, you're doing left and on ID, you're doing right on ID, and every time you're doing that, you're printing that information. Okay, you're printing your data. So now you just select the whole program and just run it. So I'm highlighting this program and now clicking on run, and you will see 3 files. 3 files. And give me thumbs up if you're able to see 3 output on your console. Right? One was left, second was right, second was right, and third is the inner, right? So now we want to understand how it worked, right? We just don't want to run the program, we want to understand. So let's see here. So we're going to open our files, sorry, my forum, my mistake. So we'll go to forum. So we see this file, and this is the result. So what's this thing? I'm going to make it big, both things visible. Oops, it's pretty. Spider normally takes a lot of memory. Let me make this one smaller. Yeah, this is better now. So if I do this way, you can see now you can see now left after join. So this file take precedence. So you have 4 record here. So 4 record here. And the matching record 2 and 3. You are getting HR and IT for matching record. For those which are not matching, right, you get none. So in interview, people will ask question, when you do merging, if you are doing merging, if you are not finding matching record, what are you going to get? So you are getting not, NaN, which is nothing but null here because you are not matching. But whenever you match, you get a relevant data. So you can see HR and this one we got. Now let's talk about right. So in right after join, if you see right after join, we have 3 records. So 3 records we have here. And that 3 records, 2 are matching. So we are matching those records, but 5 is not matching. So you are getting null. So you can see this is coming now. Name and age, we are not able to find, but we are also finding this. And if I go to inner join, where you only see which are existing both. So 2 is matching and 3 is matching. Make sense? Question, concerns, doubt. Pretty easy, right? Merging file with Panda is extremely easy. Trust me, I had a couple of my projects, internal project. We do a lot of Pandas related activity. And to be honest with you, it's pretty fast. You can do that. Good. So now, if you're okay, we can move to the next one. Just curiosity, I want to know, can I run this whole program in ideally? I'm thinking it should work because it's nothing special. So let's see. I'm just curious, right? If I run in ideally, what happens?
It was working with me with Spider, but it doesn't work with the idea.
Yeah, so run the run module. Yeah, I'll try it out. I'll say, let's say b.py and see that. And here you go. Perfect, it works. So this is a bunch of files we have. And this bunch of files, so if you are here, I'm gonna put a link in the chat in case if you are not here. So if you're here, cards.csv, you click on it. So when you click on it, you will get lots of files. And you do need to log into your Gits. I should have downloaded this file. And if you don't have a Git account, you may not be able to do. So let me do one thing. Yeah, you do need a Git account in order to do this exercise, but I'll give you a link. So you may be able to find. I can give you a link because this is the cars file. Do you guys have this thing available? Because this is, I'm finding from internet. If you can log into your Git, you will be able to find. I'm just thinking what else I can give you. So I have files which I'm going to download. So download zip file. So here you need to download zip file. So if you download zip file, it will download zip file, right? People on phone, I hope you have Git account. If you don't have Git account, you can sign up. So if you go back here, if you don't have Git account, you can find up.
It didn't ask me for a GitHub account. It let me download it and it just has sign in, sign up at the top. It let me do it.
Yeah, you might have logged in. I did not log in, so it asked me, but if you have download zip file, that's all I need. If you can give me that, you are able to download, that's all I need. Right? So when you download the zip file, we need to unzip that. We need to unzip that, right? Because I didn't want to, these are good data. So I found from internet, I don't want to create data because it takes time to create data, right? So now, if I go to my download folder, I have zip file. This is right click this thing and unzip this. Right click this and unzip. So right click and unzip. Extract all. Again, these are free data I use. There is no special reason I use, just found the data. I like it. and double click on that, and you will find car.csv. Copy this file, Control C. Please understand, you get a zip file when you download, you extract that, and you get this file. Copy this file, and we're going to put this file under our C drive data. In our C drive data. Make sure you copy that. So Control C, copy, go to C drive data, C drive data, and paste it here. Give me thumbs up if you're able to see the cars.csv which you just copy, it's under C drive data. Good. You might have seen every step I'm doing verification. The good programming, always you need to do that, because if you try to write a whole program and then you debug, that's not the way it is. It's a divide and conquer, divide and conquer. These are all advanced exercise, so in case if it doesn't work, don't feel awkward. I want you to feel about this is what in real life you do. So far we were doing Lego block, this is the structure, and the structures are always hard because your last day of the class. It has to be there. I can give you guarantee, no one in the Python world will teach this thing. I can give you guarantee because these are advanced. It's not a baby thingy. It takes time, hours of investment to do this lab, right? Which we did it. Now you're learning it. So I hope you will get benefit. So please don't be disappointed. If something doesn't work, at least you got a concept. Then watch recording and try. And if you need help, ask in WhatsApp group. I'll help you. We're not end of the world, but I want to make sure we have a smooth ride so we can complete some labs. Now cars.csv is there, which is under data. So let's go back to our forum. Now let's understand how the lab will work. So first we'll go to main. In main, so here you go. So if you see main, we are going to read this file. So we have file under CSV file, right? The CSV file is here. We are passing this file under main program. So this is the function. We are passing this file. Hey, the file is there. So now let's go here. So the file calls cars came. It's going to load the file. When it's go load the file, so now you have data. And now the data which you load, now we are creating data frame and data.car columns. So first we are saying to be dropped, right? So what we are doing is if anything we want to drop, like anything is like empty and all, we are creating first load data. So let's go to load data. So first I'm going to do load data. So if I go to load data, what we are doing? So load data is here. So load data, take the file path, create CSV and create the data frame. So this is the data frame. Then data frame is there. Now we say data frame, data.car columns. So this one, you are saying drop the column, listen carefully. To be dropped, this one will give a column which is there empty, right? If any empty columns that doesn't have data, this one will get you that column. So here you're saying to be dropped, and here you can say data.drop, drop. So it will drop. So this will give you idea that some data is dropped here. Now you have good data. So you're saying perform basic analysis. So now this is the function. You're passing data frame. So basic analysis. Now basic analysis is here. So this is the basic analysis which is here. Basic analysis say whatever data you give, first I'm going to do info, which will show you column, data type, and not count. So column, how many column you have, how many data types you have, like string, numeric, like that, and how many not null you have, means good data. Then second, describe. So describe will show summary statistic of column. So you can show summary statistics. Then it's a missing value. Data is null and sum. So it means is any column has null value. So it will find out. So this is like basic analysis. Now, if I go back here, it does basic analysis. And then it says, now plot the graph. So plot the graph will go to this function. It will check here. It set the size of your graph and say, you know what, I want to see player show this. So you are taking the data, whatever data you have, history. Please understand there are a lot of columns you have, So each column, it has a numeric value. Each column has a numeric value. Using this numeric value, it's going to create a histogram, which is kind of, you will get a histograph on that part. So first you will say histograph based on the column values. And so it will show that histogram. But because you have a lot more, this is set figure size 10, 8. So you will see that figure size. I'll show you that so you will understand. The beans 20. Beans 20 means this size you see here will be, sorry, my mistake. Beans 20 means you will have 20 broken down. So you will have 20 sections in a broken down. So your binary beans will be kind of split. You will broken down into 20 small pieces. Like example, if your data 1 to 1000, that 1000 you are breaking into 6 bin. Like it will be like categorized into 6 categories like this. That's what it says. Now, after this, we are doing box plot. And we are saying figure size 10, 6. So you are getting figure size 10, 6. And then you're drawing box plot. Again, same data. First one we do histo, we do box plot. And then we are also doing correlation. Correlations means like we have multiple column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5. Are they related? Correlations. So those who are taking my Friday class, you know, correlations means if it is a 1, then it's a strong relation. Means this column has correlations with this column, so you can see them. So we'll see that correlations type aspect. So if it is correlated, means they are related to these factors are connected together. And then we are showing the color bar and we'll show the information. So if you see high density, color will be stronger. If it's a less density, means less correlation. So you will see color coding, which is kind of nice. You will see like kind of nice color coding based on thing. Because your, let's example, 3 column, then 3 column will be like 3 rows. In our case, we have more column. So each column, like example, A column, B column, and C column. And here also A column, B column, and C column. So A to A, high relation. A to B, what relations you have? Means it's a strong correlation. So you will see nice tree mapping. Sometimes we call heat map. So you will see that also. So right now, I would say copy this thing from here to here and up to this main, Control C. Copy this. And now go to your Spider. I'm going to create a new file. Paste that. So paste that. So paste this one. Now run it and see what happens. So you highlight and run, and you will see a lot of graphs. Okay, 3 type of graphs you will see: histo, box plot, and color combinations. So if I play it here, you will see on the screen, and you may like it. You may like it, and the best way to see is click on plot. Click on plot, and see what you see here. Are you guys able to see something? Oh, it errored out. Has no attribute car. Data.car. It cars, right? Let me try cars. That should not be the error I have tested. Mostly right. Maybe cars. Run it again. 10 seconds. No attribute car. Let me remove the cars. Just the columns. Yeah, maybe 1 second. See, this kind of thing happens. It was working program, and now what did I make a mistake? We cannot describe data frame without columns. Without columns. 1 second. Lines. Now describe. Data describe. Okay. Control Z. So here, data. With data, did it work? So data frame without columns. So data we load data. 1 second. When we load data, let me see variable. What is bringing here? So I said variable. This is file path cars. So here cars data. Let me print the like this data. What data has? Data is not an object. Let me run this thing. Bear with me. So data works So column names unnamed. Column names unnamed. So data is there. Data is there. Data frame is there. Type data frame. So, oh, I see. I got it. So what happened? Hello. This is my mistake. So what happened? I added one column name. So C drive, go to data and double click on your file, cars.csv. Double click on cars.csv. The first column name I gave car. I forgot to give a name. So car, because this heading was not there. So give a car. That's sorry for that. So double click on your, let me repeat one more time. Double click on your file, cars.csv. Sorry for that, because I think I have given name. So please understand, this file which you copy under data, cars.csv, the heading was missing. So I am missing heading car, and these are car, and car has this detail. MPG means mile per gallon, cylinder, Now it should work. Make sure the heading is car. Sorry for this, because I made a change that time. I remember that. Now let's run it. So I'm going to highlight it, right? And now run it, and ta-da! Ta-da!
How did you correct the error?
I double click on cars file, double click on a cars file, the file, and I open that in Excel, and I add a title called car. Just write lowercase car, and save it. Make sure you save it. Once you save it, now let's run it, because now the heading, the one which we were writing here, this heading is supposed to be car. Okay, because that is what I added, car. Now run it and see if it works. And if it works, on a plot, click on a plot and see the graphs, right? See the graph. So now let's see the graph you got here. So first graph is the histo. Let's click on the histo, right? So I'm just trying to click on a plot. I'm trying to understand now. Click on a plot, and these are all plots. So first one is the histo. So how the histo came? So if you see here in our exercise, when we are doing first basic analysis which we saw here, it is written here. So if you see here, it does explain here that you have data, and it does explain in English, right? That it can explain in English that you have this data and you have this type of thing. So here, data info, data describe, is null, sum, like that type of information here, summary, missing, like that explain. So none of data has missing value. So this one is a basic. But when you do plot graph, so figure size 10 and 8. So this is like your 10 and 8, this one, right? Now you're specifying data.histo. Data means it has a lot of columns. You can see here in Excel file, all are numeric. So column 1, 2, 3, 4, all these are numeric columns. So each column, there is a plot. So MPGA column, and if you see that it divided into 20 bins, mathematically count, it will divide into 20 bins. It divided into 20 bins because we described, right? So you can see that information depends on the data which is available, right? Now this shows how data is distributed. So if you see here, MPG is all over the distribution, right? This one is all over the distribution, but this one has kind of only 2 values. The data is not really distribution. Here data is distributed. So you can see like how data tendency is. So someone say, here, then you can say, no, most of the data in this. So if something comes, that's called anomaly detection. Anomaly detection, because you are not getting this data. So it kind of visually you see how the data is distributed through histograph. Histograph also helps you in this range, how many times this data repeated. So example, the most likely data is repeated here more often than this one. And this you can see, this is cylinder. It means if I have a car, I have 8-cylinder car more, I have 6-cylinder car, and I have 4-cylinder car. If I say this, there are different concepts available. So gear, So I have 5, 4, and 3. So 3 is more than 4. So you're analyzing that. Same thing if I go back to plot. Plot gives you the thing. So what plot is a very different type of graph where you see minimum, you see maximum. Minimum, you will see maximum for each item. And here, so this one doesn't have too much distributions. I mean, they're closer to each other. So mean and max, they're closer. Mean and max closer, it means range. Range is not too much. It means data. If you do mean, please understand, versus max, the difference is not that much. So you can see there is a line only. I mean, there's no difference. But these two items, there's a significant difference. So mean is here, max is here. This is outlier. This is outlier. So somewhere one data is wrong. And this is max. This is the outlier. Now mean max. And here is the first quartile, which is 25%. This is the 50% quartile. This is 75% quartile. This is your 100% quartile. So if you see this data, you can see that the data, if I draw this data, please pay attention, otherwise you will miss something beautiful. I need full attention. Okay, make sure you pay attention. This is like a really, really important. So this box plot, you learn something interesting. So if I transform the box plot like this, if I transform the box plot, it will be like this kind of bell curve, right? So looking this, the data shows that it is this type of tendency. It means you have more data on the right side. You can see here. Make sense? So if I draw the graph, you see like that. If I do draw this is data, and I put display, and there is a median is here somewhere, which is this median. Most of the data are towards right side. Make sense? So what that mean? If you are predicting, most likely it should be somewhere here, not here. So you get an idea that the data is having a right tendency here. So that's another idea. Any questions so far? And the last one, if you scroll down a little bit, you have correlation. So you can see here, MPG will have correlations with itself. There's no doubt, right? But you can see that wherever you see the correlations, there's a scale here. Red means high correlationship. So you can see here, there is no correlationship MPG has. But if you can see cylinder has correlationship with these 3 items. Of course, cylinder you cannot consider because that's itself, but definitely there is a 2 horsepower and cylinder goes hand to hand because there is a relationship. And you can see here, color coding wise, they are close to 90. So this gives you idea. Like example, this item, which is here, weight has correlationship with this one, right? And if you say this item, like a gear, has this one. So I think few item has correlationship. Other, wherever you see blue and all, based on this, they don't have that much correlationship, right? So you can see which factor goes along with. When you have which factor, you know that, then you may use linear regression to try to see prediction if you want to do. But if there is no correlationship, you can't use in analysis. Means they are just there. So this kind of give idea what factor goes along and what factor goes opposite and what factor has no relationship. So correlationship graph is a wonderful graph which will give you opportunity to see are these factors associated or not associated. Question, concerns, doubt. How many of you are able to run? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, one quick question. This correlationship, red indicates correlationship.
Strong. One is a strong. One means strong. One means correlationship value will be 0 to 1, right?
Okay. Right side I didn't see. Okay.
One is that.
Oh, okay. Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions? I hope this works for everyone. This exercise, because it's a graphic in nature, it works very well in Spider, but I believe it should also work ideally. So in case if you are running, I would not run ideally because this is like designed for Spider type of thing. But in case if you want to run ideally, it may work as well. Okay. Good. So now it's 11:27. I still have one exercise. Okay, that's called k-mean. So I'll do last one for the day. K-mean algorithm. Now, k-mean algorithm is a wonderful algorithm to create a cluster. So cluster means, like example, this is more advanced, but I'm just going to do the lab just to show you how data science does that. There's no way we can go in detail. I'm going to give you concept. So like example, somebody give me data. And now you can say, you know what, this data, there are many columns are there. I don't know how this works. So can you find out cluster? Now you can say how many cluster you want. And you can say, I want 4 cluster. So k-mean, take this data, and using this data, it find out this data has something commonality. So example, please pay attention so you understand the underneath structure of the k-mean. So let's example, this is student data. So student has ID, student has a name, student has a grade, student has a age, student has a city, student has a hobby, like that. So it will see who has a higher grade and age and their hobby and the city. Whatever they match, more match, they will put in one cluster. And there are some match, like example, someone has more here matching, right? But not matching here, they will put in different cluster. So it does very scientific way cluster analysis. This cluster is a very popular technique to detect, predict it. Like example, once this is a training data, and I create a cluster. So if I give any new data, this model will say, you know what, you belong to A cluster, or you belong to B cluster, or you belong to C cluster. So you can predict right away. So that's why Netflix, if you know, Netflix use this model. So example, you watch one movie and you have your profile. This is your profile, your name, your age, are you working, what field you are working, what's your interest, action movie, drama, da 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 da. So Netflix use this and match you with others. Now let's say example here, Eric is here and Murthy is here, and let's say myself, Tommy is here also. Eric like, let's say Die Hard. Murthy like Die Hard. Tushar like Die Hard. So first, our profile was matching, and most of the things were matching, and we like one movie. Now, our Netflix is confused what to recommend. So now, Eric, let's say, watch Speed. So everything was matching. So what happened? If Eric watched Speed, Netflix will recommend Speed to both of us. But let's say I did not watch Speed. I watched, let's say, Up movie. So now Netflix say after D, some people watch Speed, but Netflix try to recommend to 100 people. And out of 100 people, let's say 90 people watch Speed. And let's say 10 people watch Up movie, just an example. So Netflix will give 2 thumbs up. In case if you have watched, I don't know how to draw thumbs up, so please bear with me. Netflix give 2 thumbs up, right? In case if you have not watched Netflix recently, try to see 2 thumbs up, mean 90. If Netflix give you 1 thumbs up, means Netflix is like 50% chances people will watch that movie. Otherwise, they will put it in a recommendation, but they will not recommend. So when Netflix gives you 2 thumbs up, it means whenever Netflix saw Eric watch Die Hard and watch Speed movie, Netflix said that he follow Eric cluster, so he created cluster, and now he recommend. Whenever people recommend, they are following cluster. Now, whatever left, let's say example, Murthy watch, let's say next movie, let's say like a Paycheck, right? Then they will recommend movie to Paycheck here, and this is the way Netflix come up with the recommendation. Question, they use k-mean. Whatever you're learning, a little bit spice and same concept. Netflix make hundreds of $1 billion. And that's the algorithm. Now, this algorithm has a lot of science. It's pretty hard to understand, but it's very easy to run Panda program. So we are going to do, at least we'll do high level understanding how it works. Any question before we run the program? Okay. So now let's go back to our form. And I need to find k-mean. I think I put k-mean up, right? Yeah, this one. Okay, so this is a small program here. So in this exercise, this is the one. Yeah. I just want to make sure this k-mean algorithm is here. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, in this exercise, I'm creating dummy data. So X and Y. So there are two factors, X and Y. Now, when you see this X and Y, right? When you see X and Y, you will not see that much different because you see X and Y. So if you scatter plotter, you will see some idea like X, Y, you can do. Where is X? When you know X, when you know Y, kind of points. So scatter plotter will point that. Now, we are saying zip X and Y, so you kind of find a relationship on that. And here we are using k-mean. We are saying, hey, zip it. So you find out the relationship in X and Y. So the way it works is, let's example, if I know this point and I know Y, it will try to find out the distance between these 2 points. So like example, X, I have 1 point, and Y, I have this point, right? And then different point. Are they point are closer? So what k-mean does, puts like a centroid. It put a centroid based on the data. So here they pick the data based on, let's say example, I want 3 cluster. So it creates 3 centroids. So like example, minimum value, maximum value, and then it picks somewhere. And it says from there, let's say I put 1 centroid here, 1 centroid here, and 1 centroid here. So they put random centroid. And then they ask how far you are from my centroid. And then take a distance. And the same thing, each point, they will identify how far you are from the centroid. The centroid is random, k-mean will pick. And then they see the distance, X and Y. If these are closer, then they will keep it here. But this point is, let's say, closer to here, then they will put it in this cluster. And it goes through iteration. And then each point, whichever comes here, that will be closer to the centroid point, but it is far from other centroid. So k-mean try to keep the centroid different. Now, centroid can be selected or to proper what you call efficiency. You can give centroid, or k-mean will automatically select centroid. Now, the reason it selects centroid because it has some data. So if you know the data, so it will pick reasonable. You're not going to put centroid 200. It's not going to work because there's no data for 200. So it will pick from here reasonable centroid. So it can create a cluster. So example here, 4 to maximum is 14. So it will pick, let's say 8 or like something like construct. And then it say how far these data points are. Now it use algorithm to find out the distance. It do it. Now here it will try to feed this data, and as it is doing this exercise, this all activity it go through, and then it will feed that data. So feed in the sense of put in a cluster, and now it's going to plot it. So when it plots, the plot will look like this way. Plot will look like this, right? So this is special algorithm it use elbow will do that. This is the distance is found, how it finds its internal ETL of k-mean, and based on that they say, oh, this looks like one cluster, and this looks like a second cluster, and it divide that. So if you go further, it will create like a cluster like that. It will create a cluster with color coding. Now this data, you can see 10 to 12, 14, they are closer to each other versus 4 to 6, 8. Now you say, but there is no rocket science. It is a rocket science. Right now you're using X and Y. But if you give a cars data, right, cars data, it can do analysis and it will find out old car and new car. Why? Because they will have some similarity. Or it will find out Honda car and it will find out Tesla car automatically without you asking question. Why? Because Tesla car will have some similarity and Honda car will have some similarity. That's why k-mean is very popular algorithm. Make sense? So right now, let's copy this thing. Let's copy Control C and create a new file here and paste it here. In this program, I have not created functions, so we can run certain data. So I'm going to highlight and run only this thing. So run the selected point so you can understand how it works. Give me thumbs up if you are able to save this data. So I just highlighted this much and run it. So this is a scatter, and you can visually see that. If I see that this is maybe a one cluster, this may be a second cluster, right? And I will ask k-mean to do that part. So it come here. Now I'm asking here, see here, I'm going to run this thing and If I run this thing, see what happens. Oops, key mean is not defined. Oh, key mean is not defined. Oh, man. So let me run this all together. Yeah, all together. So up to elbow, and here you see elbow. So elbow is still coming. Now, the last thing of the day. Look at that. So after you do elbow, it kind of say that this is one cluster. And here I said 2. So I'm going to change to 3 and see if I run this thing, and it will create a 3 cluster. So it says here, you can avoid it by setting, what is this thing? Unwarning. K-means is known to have memory leak. So there's some issue because I tried to do 3. Let me try 4. Some issue. Yeah, it created 4 cluster. Do you see that? One is green cluster, one is this blue, this cluster. It found similarity. That's all it does. And then next data when it come, you can easily predict. Though I have limited data, but when they use k-mean, they use thousands of data points in order to be clustered clearly. And now next point comes, if you belongs to here, then whatever they like, they're gonna recommend it. Make sense? If you belongs to here, whatever this cluster like, what hobbies they have, what kind of thing they like, they recommend. And that is the reason you get a recommendation. So there is a concept called product recommendation, and then one is called service recommendation. Extremely useful. First of all, are you guys able to see when you do 4 cluster? Give me thumbs up. Now you may say, I don't understand where to use it. So let me give you an example. There are a lot of cases you can use KML cluster. There's no science. The only thing will change, let me repeat, the only thing will change is this data. Only thing will change is the data. So like example, let's say you call, let's say, what do you call your warranty, home warranty department and say, hey, my appliance is not working. Listen carefully. My appliance is not working. The first thing they will ask, which brand you have or which make you have. So let's say example, your brand is G. So which appliance you're talking about? Let's say you're saying my appliance is stove. Okay. Then they say which year you're talking about. So they say my year is, let's say 2022. Right? And then maybe ask something. So now G stove 2022. Now they ask what's the symptoms? Hey, it's not starting. It's not starting. Bingo. So what happened? G stove 2022. So they will go through the cluster. Using the cluster, they will say, most likely you have this problem. So now average person doesn't need to have expertise. Average person doesn't need to have expertise. What particular item I need to buy it. So the technician comes to your house. Mostly they are not college fresh. They are not like a data science, but they come with a small truck. If you notice carefully, but they bring the parts which will fix your problem. It is proven around 90% chances the guy who come to your house will fix your issue on a first attempt. Why? Because the company where they are working, they have used cluster. Based on your issue, they match the cluster. And they say when these things common, there are 100,000 customers who have a stove issue, and these are the most parts they have a problem. So these 3 parts, they will ask technician to take in his truck, and then he come, he will fix your problem. So this is called ADD, Advanced Diagnostic Design. Advanced means diagnostic, because his stove is not working, and that gives you what product you need to take. So it's advanced diagnosis. Your diagnosis based on the cluster. Very, very simple, right? Think about car. If you're driving car, right? Around 50,000 miles, you go to car mechanic, and car mechanic say, you know what? You do need a brake change. You do need a brake pedal change. You need a rotation. You need this. Have you ever asked how the heck they know? They have cluster. 0 to 30,000. What could be the main problem? And then they will give you recommendation. Then there is a cluster. If it is 50,000 or 75,000, what would be recommendation? So they're going to speak in front of you. Though you maintain your car much better, And you don't have to go through that recommendations. But 90% chances people do that. That's why they keep recommending that thing. So cluster is learning from the similar profile and providing recommendation. So there is no brainer. It means if I have more profile, I'll be more precise. Netflix has around 500 plus million customers. So they will be very, very accurate about movie which you're gonna watch next. So think about that. If Eric watched 5 movies and I watch the same 5 movies, then my profile is perfect match. Same thing, matchmaker, in case if you know that, matchmaker. So when one boy and girl, when they create a profile, matchmaker does the clustering. And this technique is used heavily in industry. It's so fast. It's so fast because you're not doing any specific algorithm. That's why K-mean algorithm is very popular.